Hey guys, welcome back to Black, White, and the Grays. My name is Kylie and welcome to our farm. We are located in Central Oregon. We are a Zone 3 with a frost risk all year round. It is late April. What is the date today? Today is April 26th, which I think a lot of people around the country are getting some cold fronts, so it's not that big a deal. But we have already planted a lot of stuff outside, and let's go in and talk about what we planted and why it's going to be just fine and dandy. All right. Alright, so you can see these little bits of green popping up. This is our garlic. It is 100% hardy. It overwintered here, so it's good to go. It's not too cold out here, even though we have several inches of snow. It's not too cold, which is a good thing. The snow acts as like a little blanket. This garden, even though you can't really see the beds, is all but planted in one bed, and I have some of these big beds behind us that are planted also. Everything I planted is a cold hardy crop, which it works out in my benefit because everything I plant in outside where we live is cold hardy all year round. So unless I'm trying to do some sort of bonus, just found some mittens in my pocket. I could use these. Or some gloves. They're covered in hay. There we go. So everything I've already planted is extremely cold hardy. Will be just fine in this. And let's go over what I planted and what also you could plant. I have a video I'm going to link, I think it's over here, and it is everything I'm growing this spring and everything that will survive a Zone 3 with a frost risk all year round, outdoors without cover. Now, when I'm talking about these crops, I want you to bear in mind that if you are a local, we also live in the high desert and we get a lot of heat in the summer. This could be where your cold crops suffer. You'll just give them a little extra water. Sometimes if it's hot, you can get some cool water on their leaves midday, or put a protective shade cloth. Or I have in my small garden, there's a big old lodgepole pine, and it shades the majority of that garden in the heat of the summer, and it works out perfectly. Which is why I also have 3 lodge poles in this market garden over here, which is why I've left these 3 trees. 1, 2, 3. Because I want them to grow up big and strong and be a big shade tree for this garden. Or a few shade trees, if you would. And directly to the side of me, right here. You can't, I don't even know why I'm showing you this because you really just can't see much. That bed is divided in half. We have 5-foot beds. We can reach 2.5 feet over on each side of the pathway to harvest. I just really like bigger beds. A traditional market garden has 30-inch beds. I like bigger beds. So we do 5-foot beds, and on this 2.5 feet, half of the bed, there is but the hardy bunching onions. Everything I planted in this garden so far is from Johnny's, and these are the hardy winter bunching onion. I think that's what they're called, and they did great for me last year. I had a ton left over from last year, but I also ordered a bunch because I really enjoyed them, and they're very hardy. And then on the other half of the bed, nothing has sprouted yet, so there's no sprouts, but even if there were, I wouldn't be worried about it with the snow. The radishes are on the other half. So the bed is split down to 2. This side onions, this side radish. And then the only other thing, I have half this bed planted. I need to get the rest planted. Not today. Definitely tomorrow. It'll be up in the 60s. Snow should be gone by then. This half of the bed is spinach. And I thought I would do the other half kale. That's the plan. I need to get my kale planted. If we move over here, the first bed is garlic. The second bed is a whole bed of lettuce. This is the all-star mix. I grew it last year. It was fabulous. We will continue to keep growing with it. It was slow to bolt, which is perfect for this. Now it's been a week since I sowed that bed. All these beds, actually. It's been a whole week. But in another 2 weeks, so every 3, probably every 3 weeks, I'm gonna do maybe not a whole bed, but definitely a half a bed of another succession of lettuce. The following bed is a whole entire bed of Parisian market carrots. I have talked about these carrots because they're my favorite and I love them. And this is the best part. They grow like a radish, where they're short little chubby carrots that a big one can get like this, but typically they're like this. They are the most tender, they're the sweetest carrots. They're so good. They sell great at the markets. They are great for fresh eating. They're wonderful. And my favorite part is I don't thin them. I plant them like, well, radishes I multi-sow, beets I multi-sow, onions I multi-sow, but they can be multi-sown together without being thinned out, and they still get just as big and beautiful. And normally carrots need to be thinned out because they need a bigger space to get bigger and grow a longer taproot, and if they're crowded they can't get that big taproot. These don't have a big taproot, so they're perfectly fine. These crops are also perfect for growing above cardboard. I have talked about this. This is our style, no dig gardening, and these beds, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them needed to be replenished with cardboard because we have a really crazy weed that's wiregrass that goes in these two beds in particular, and so I re-cardboarded them and put a couple inches of compost on top, like 3 or 4 inches, and then planted in that. Now, Charles Dowding says just don't worry about the cardboard, it'll disintegrate by the time things get bigger. I agree with that, but we do live in a more dry climate. He is in more of a, he gets a lot more rain and moisture than we do, so the cardboard is more able to disintegrate naturally. We water, like, this is the most moisture we've gotten all spring. That is unusual. We've had a very dry year. Our winter was mild with hardly any snow. Our spring's been mild with hardly any rain or snow, which is not good. But it is what it is, and now we just need to, I just am planting shallow root crops over the cardboard just to be safe. So because the cardboard could prevent the carrot taproot from going down deep. Not by the time ours gets big enough to get down in there, I'm sure the cardboard would be soft enough for the carrot to barge on through, but just in case, why not? I'm just planting shallow root crops as a safety net. Then, so we have garlic, lettuce, Parisian market carrots, another row of garlic. Then the next 2 beds are potatoes, and they are planted. And we actually need a 3rd bed. So here it's a little early for planting potatoes, but we planted them pretty good, and we also mulched the crap out of them. I have like a good 9 inches of hay, straw, mulching on top of them to insulate them, which I think they'll be fine. They're down pretty good in the soil, and then on top of that with the straw, and nobody's sprouting through the soil yet, because I just planted them a few days ago. We also need to plant another row. Let's go down here and so you can get a closer look at what I'm talking about. All right, so this row, you can I don't know if the camera's picking this up. From my eye, the snow's not deep enough you can kind of still see the rows. So lettuce, Parisian market carrots, garlic, potatoes. Potatoes here, potatoes there. That's our silage tarp. It's blown out of control. This is where we kind of differ from our traditional market garden. We grow a lot of things, like we don't sell potatoes. We're not going to be selling our garlic, and we aren't going to be selling our storage carrots. These are a Bolero variety from Johnny's, and these beets are an Ace. They're the red Ace, I believe, from Johnny's. First year growing those, but I've grown other varieties from Johnny's and they were great. Boleros, this is my 2nd year growing them. They're the pelleted carrot seed, so they take a little longer to germinate. Anything pelleted takes longer. I did not grow enough of these carrots last year, so this is my first succession of those. I need another giant row of those, or half a row, and yeah. Also, in this bed, let's spin you here. Right here, I don't think you can tell, we have our Walla Walla starts. This is the only thing I'm concerned about. I planted these out last week. Well, I forgot about them. They did fine, and so I planted them up. I did mulch them with some hay. Hopefully they do fine. They were doing great. And after you transplant your starts of onions, they will look a little sad. Just give them like a week or so, and they'll be popping back up to normal. You could lose a few, and that's 100% normal. Just, you're not a failure. But these guys are popping through the hay a little bit, and hopefully they'll be just fine. If not, I can trim the tops a little bit after we get warmed up. Today's Monday, but Thursday we go up to 80 degrees. So they're gonna need a lot of good watering. This is a good nice soak for all this garden right here, this good nice soil. So snow is also, I've heard it referred to as the poor man's fertilizer. It has a ton of nitrogen, and I know a lot of people garden, they gather up the snow in the winter and put it in buckets or barrels so that they use that for fertilizing their garden. I think it's a great idea, but I'm also like, that's a lot of work. And there's no way we could do it on this space. So anyway, this last bed. So I guess I have two beds not planted. The one that's extremely weedy and I have a silage chart, but it won't stay on with the wind. We've had some crazy winds, and I think it's just the weather patterns. It's been like extreme. Like I'm sure we'll get some big winds this week with the 80 degrees coming in and this snow cold weather going out. The other 3/4 of the bed of where the onions are, the Walla Wallas, is going to be these sugar snack carrots, which we are going to grow them small so that they're like a fingerling. Last week was a weird week, and it was just, as far as like people here helping out on the farm, nobody was able to come, and so it was just me. And so I got what we could done, but we had just got back from our trip, so I was a little tired, but I got what I got done, which I thought wasn't a ton, but it ended up being, we got a lot done. So, but now this week might be a similar type thing, and I'm just going to be working on planting. I'm going to be planting peas, more carrots, onion. Oh no, probably not my onions out. They're not ready to come out yet. Kale, Swiss chard, rutabagas, turnips, kohlrabi, bok choy. I might be missing something else, but so we're gonna get all those in the ground this week. It is perfectly fine for all of those crops to be planted now, even when we're getting snow here and there. So let's go into the greenhouse. Let's check things out. I think everything's doing better. My sunflowers, nobody else has ate them. So as far as yesterday goes, I've been getting flowers for my own personal like annuals, and I thought we're gonna struggle, but they're doing great in here. Hello! Oh my gosh, this greenhouse is getting crazy. Oh, they did get a little bit last night. You guys looking sad? Okay. So this is the plant I was most worried about, because these are very frost tender, and it's a geranium. So it is 38 degrees in here. I did have a light Agribon frost cover over them, and they've been doing fine. Now keep in mind, we are half in ground, so that does help insulate all the things and keep it warm in here. And there's no wind. Doing good. But some things are doing pretty good, some things aren't. My sunflowers are getting their second set of leaves. They're doing okay. I have some peas that really just need to get out to the gardens. I'm going to pot up my own annuals soon. I have some old chicken feeders and some old chicken waterers and all these really cute things that I put my annuals in. So I'm gonna pot up my own flowers, but then, so here we have a ton. Some are doing that we are picking up here and there for our own potted flowers. So May 1st is kind of when I start planting up my window boxes and getting all that going, because I always like to have some cheer up at the house. May 1st is coming soon. Right now it's hard to imagine with all this snow, but come tomorrow or the next day when it's warm and beautiful out, we're gonna be like ready to start planting up annuals and stuff outside. Now my annuals are covered in my window boxes by our roof, which I'll show you that when we plant, and our porch. When planting annuals here, we have a major deer pressure. So if you have annuals that are on your porch even, the deer will come onto your porch and eat them, especially when they see all the beautiful blooms. So just be prepared. The liquid deer fence, it's a spray. I have used that. It smells awful. It smells like pee. So if you don't get it on yourself is what I'm telling you. It's bad. But the deer won't come near that. But every time you water or it rains, you have to reapply, which is the most annoying thing. I have found with we have a dog that we've had for the last couple years, a rescue dog, and she is a Great Pyrenees, and we haven't had any deer problems on our porch since we've got her. They will come. Anyway, the moral of the story is some of these peas I'm saving to plant up in my annuals. I like to have peas in my flower baskets. They're a nice treat on the porch for the kids and myself. But a lot of these are getting out of control, and we're going to plant them out probably on Tuesday. Get them up, trellis them. They already need a trellis. They're ready to go. Everything is doing really awesome in here. My onions have had they've had 2 haircuts now. And if you look, they go pretty down far in there. So they're doing good. Everybody's doing all right. We've had some struggle buses. These peas they just really didn't. Some of them that were not as fried bounced back, but the other ones, they just never made a full recovery, and I doubt they will. I have a ton of perennial lupin and hollyhocks that need to get out. They're starting to, I up-potted the mixed ones, but these are all of the black ones, which I think are going to be stunning. And they're going to get planted out. I'm going to plant a ton of them in my small garden for the flowers. I absolutely love them. I'm not expecting them to bloom this year, but I'm expecting them to have a good amount of green growth. And if we get a bloom, my sister, hollyhocks, are they biennials? I believe they're biennials. One year my sister planted them from seed and they bloomed and they were beautiful. And then I've planted them from seed and they don't bloom the first year. So we'll see. I don't know. Some of these seeds mainly are a few years old, so they all germinate. These black sun hollyhocks, they're actually like, I think they're 3 years old now, and the germination rate was impeccable. And I have a bunch of potted peonies. I bought these from Costco. I don't know if I think I've shown. Let me help you. Pin cushions need to get out. I don't know if I've shown. They have these peonies at Costco in like the packages. It was the best price I could find this year, and I potted up a ton of them, and they're all doing fairly good except for maybe one. Everybody has blooms. Ooh, this guy looks like it might have gotten fried, but it may come back. They're all starting to come back. There you go. So we got a bunch of peonies we can plant out in the landscape. They're my strawberries. They're just sucking. I'm just about to give up on those strawberries and just throw them in the compost pile, because by now they should have had a green growth on them, and there's nothing. Here we go. Oh, Dusty Miller. For my own growing purposes, for my annuals, I definitely need quite a bit more, because I do quite a few. I have 3 big window boxes, but then I also have a lot of pots and hanging baskets that I plant up. So I'm gonna need way more flowers than that, probably double. I'll get those this week. I kind of went light on them because I knew this cold front was coming in and I was scared. And after I brought the geraniums home, I was like, oh, that was stupid. But they did just fine, so that's good. Well, guys, I hope you're staying warm. I hope you're having beautiful days. I'm hoping you get we need rain, so we're grateful for the snow, but we need. Be sure to subscribe and like this video for more. We'll see you later on in the week, guys. Bye, guys. Can we forget about the little garden? I don't think so. I walked in here and I was like, I gotta bring y'all. Look at how gorgeous. So beautiful. I've yet to plant this garden, which, especially with what I'm planting in here, poppies, it'd be fine if I put poppies out right now. So I'll probably plant it later in the day.